Welcome to the Tuttle and Kline Show.
Daphne is the Kliniest Kline of them all.
Tuttle, what's going on, Tuttle?
Nothing. What are you doing, man?
Oh, just getting ready to enjoy another episode of Tuttle and Kline.
This is a lot of fun. Still enjoying it?
Absolutely. What about you?
I love it.
Yeah.
Dude, I ditched therapy about 4 weeks ago. I'm like, hey, man, I get what I need on Mondays for free.
You never went to therapy.
I spoke to some people out of request of one of my exes.
Really?
Yeah, I spoke to a therapist for a while.
Good for you, man. That's awesome.
Didn't work.
It didn't?
It just didn't take.
Okay.
Yeah, it just I guess I'm just like a big non-believer or so skeptical. I'm a skeptic.
Okay.
And all I'm thinking is yeah, I don't understand what your role in this is.
Hmm.
You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, yes and no. I do kind of know because I've been seeing therapists since I was 24 years old. But I just met the therapist of all therapists, and she made a massive breakthrough for me about 4 weeks ago, and it's unbelievable, Tim.
Yeah, I guess it's just if you get the right one, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You've got to find the right one for sure.
I guess I was getting to see students.
Oh, I've had therapists identify what the problem is, but they never knew how to fix it.
Oh, now you got one that fixed it.
It's done. Yeah. And one session.
I love it. Can you illuminate a little bit, or are you giving up her secret sauce, or you don't want to delve into that? I mean,
no, this is what I'm going to talk about on the Fuzzy Mic. Her name is Laurel Weirs, and she is an expert in ART, which ART is a more rapid response to EMDR, which is eye movement and all that kind of stuff. Okay. But anyway, what we did was we used these little buzzer things in my hand. She's in Connecticut, so it was all remote. You do these little buzzer things in my hand, and then we went to where the trauma started, which was when I was 13, and my dad told me I'd never amount to anything. I use that for motivation my entire life, okay? But never did I realize how bad it fucked me up. I didn't ever think it did, but yeah, that was where all of my stress and all of my self-loathing and all of my lack of self-confidence came from was that statement. And so what we had to do was, as a 55-year-old, I had to go back and hold the hand of the 13-year-old and re-confront my dad in that scenario, in that situation.
interesting.
And it did, Tim. And you remember how and we even went to the Alaska thing, where Alaska was really the trigger when I bottomed out and I couldn't go anymore in Alaska, and I had to turn the backpack over to my friend Scott to finish the run with me. I really felt my dad saying, "You're a loser," and that's what hit me. That caused me to shut down my entire life, and it was in the back of my mind. And so she brought that to the front. Tim, let me tell you something. I can look at a picture of my dad now and actually feel sorry. I can look at the trailer for Delivering Hope, my run in Alaska that I thought I failed at, and want to do it again.
Okay.
And
that's good.
Tim, the last time I thought about killing myself was 7 weeks ago.
That's an all-time record.
Dude, it was every day. It was every day.
I know.
Yeah. So Laurel Weirs is freaking amazing, man. She's awesome. And I made a friend too. She checks on me regularly.
Man, I am so happy that you got that breakthrough, Cav.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, and that, it along the same lines, the therapist that I was speaking to, it was all my mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom, when a mother tells her child that she hates the child, that's devastating.
Yeah. Oh, my dad told us when I was 22, my biggest regret in life is marrying your mom and having you kids.
Wow. See, I could just never imagine doing that to my kids. Never.
I know, but
I constantly fill them with positive reinforcement and fill them with and tell them I love them all the time.
well, that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I just and that's something that is, those that are able to break that cycle. And the first time, Kevin, go ahead. You got something. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you, how much of your parenting came from doing the opposite of what your mother did?
Yes, focusing on what my dad did,
Hmm.
and completely tossing out my mom.
Yeah.
Nothing personal against her. I mean,
There's no
everybody's
there's no
every,
blueprint.
everybody's wired a little different. She was wired different, and in her defense, I was a bit much.
Yeah.
I
My dad
was.
my dad was abandoned by his dad and his stepdad. So there's no blueprint for parenting, but that was what he knew. And so
Yeah.
that's the way he parented was
Yeah.
abandonment.
Yeah. I mean, my mom came from like strict German
There you go.
upbringing, and it was the belt.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit of a little much to handle. I mean, that as well as anybody else. I'm good in small bites, but after a while, you're looking at your fucking watch, right?
I never was because I always enjoyed what we had together. But I've seen that in action. Yes.
Yes, yeah. I mean, and that's it. And my mom did not handle it well, and she saw me. I guess at least what we worked out, the therapist. She saw me. I was a kind of an intellectual threat to her.
Okay.
She
I can
did
see that.
not. She did not like somebody. She liked her kids being intelligent. All of her kids are intelligent.
Absolutely.
All of us are. But I rubbed it in her fucking face.
You know.
Yeah. And I know those times that I did, and I regret it.
Of course.
But it's still you say to your son, and this happened multiple times. I hate you.
Hmm.
That no matter how much I played it off and was like, whatever, that is massive blow. Massive.
It truly is. And you don't realize at the time that you're internalizing that because you said, like, you played it off like whatever. When my dad said, "Welcome to a life of no future," I was like, well, fuck you. I'm going to show you. But it really did cut. I just didn't know it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Kev, it was such an effect that, like Kathy early on in our relationship,
Mhm.
she said, "I hate you."
Wow.
And it wiped me.
That's a trigger. That's a trigger.
I literally never saw her in the same way again. Now we had a relationship that lasted many years after that,
Mhm.
but going back, this is what the therapist peeled back is like, yeah, you never let that go.
Yeah.
And you never let her close after that.
I can
And
see
you
that.
were always looking for something else after she said that to you.
Understandable.
And I'll never forget it. It was at Hendersonville, Tennessee, on the stairs of our apartment. She walked down the stairs, and in her defense, I did something that kind of deserved it. I was a little flirtatious with another lady,
Okay.
but she said, I hate you. And I'll never forget the look on her face. And that moment, it was like, I never recovered from it.
Isn't it crazy how you can go right back to that situation and you are right there. You can remember everything. Tim, this was 13 years old, and I remember what I was wearing at that time.
Yeah.
I remember everything like it was just happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, Laura, my girlfriend, Laura, she said that to me one time too. I hate you. And I was like, hey man, this will never last.
Yeah.
No matter, we tried a few times afterwards, but it just didn't happen.
Of course.
And Erica and Taryn, they never said that to me.
Yeah.
And those are the fondest ones to me.
Of course. Yeah. Because there wasn't that massive emotional cut.
Yeah. Even though they got fed up, hey, okay, looking at my watch. Oh, this is fun. This has been fun. I gotta go. They never cut me to the core with those words.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
so
I'm glad you saw somebody. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, we worked that out, and that was good. And I was like, okay, we're good.
Beautiful.
After that, it became the same thing over and over. And I was like, oh, I was kind of done with it.
Well, yeah, I was seeing a therapist here that was $160 for an hour, and I went 10 times, and I wasn't getting. We identified the problem, but it wasn't getting any better. Laurel, my new consultant therapist, was one session cheaper than $1,600, and she's like, "You're done. You're clear."
Wow, that's so awesome.
I said, "That's not a really good business model for you, Laurel." And she goes, "I'm not in it for a business model. I'm in it to help people." And she says, "Yeah, there's quite a few people out there that need help. So I'll be okay."
Yeah, go from one to another to another to another. Fix the world.
Yeah.
If you're that good as a therapist, fix the world.
Uh-huh. And
I love it.
she's really good. Beautiful lady too. Super sweet. Unbelievably cool.
But circling back real quick, since you brought it up, of how if you didn't have the best situation parenting, that you go completely another other direction. I kind of initially got that, and I know you'll probably remember, Kev. I developed a bit of a friendship with Art Alexakis, the lead singer of Everclear.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, real fun.
Oh, he's Art Alexakis. I mean, he is one of the greatest human beings, just kind, look you in the eyes, very considerate, very well thought of. But as you know from his song, Father of Mine, he did not have a great father situation.
Not at all.
They let his father bailed on him when he was just a little boy.
Yep.
And it affected him as his father beat his mom and just completely left the kids, and they had a rough upbringing, just trying to make it. And his dad every so often would send him a birthday card with a $5 bill, and Art's like, "That's it, that's all." And and I remember Art saying, and I was just sitting down with him when we were in Vegas that one time, and he was telling me, yeah, he goes, I got my own child now, and I went the complete opposite with my dad. I'm probably over the top with affection and positive reinforcement and being kind and making sure they never know or never understand what I went through. They'll never feel it. They'll never get it.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me because, just a few years later, Audrey came along, and I'm like, I'm going to do that too.
Well, look at the world of mixed martial arts. Look at fighters. Several of them that I know of grew up in abusive homes where the mother or the father were abusive to them, and they turned to fighting because it's all they knew. There's two paths you can go. You can go that route. You can continue the cycle, or you can do what you did and what Art did, and that is, I'm going to break the cycle. I know what not to do. I know how not to do it. I'm going to do it a different way.
And I also remember, I was never like close to my mom after that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I'm not going to do anything with my kids that'll make them not want to be close with their dad.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I just over the top, like positive reinforcement. And and they just turned out to be these great kids.
They're unbelievable.
I got so lucky. I can't even believe it. I'm not the most devout dude there is, but man, I talk to God, and I just say, thank you so much for Audrey, Jonas, Dallas, and Timmy.
Yeah.
All of them are just amazing kids.
And the cool thing about all of this is that I think you have a better relationship with your mom today than you ever did.
I mean,
nice.
One of it is the heavy duty dementia that she does. She does not recollect the rough 80s. 80s were a little rough for her because of me,
Yeah, well, the 80s now are a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, sure, she'll tell me the same exact story 3 times in a row within the same phone conversation, but now I'm her golden boy.
There you go. That's right. So see, it only took 40 years.
Yeah. So yeah, we're good now. We're cool now.
Awesome,
but yeah, that's you can break the cycle. That's why I never buy the excuse of when somebody does something heinous or ridiculous. Well, they were raised this way, or this happened to their childhood. No, you have the means and the mental aptitude to break that cycle and go in another direction.
Yeah.
Because that's wrong. Any human being knows that, hey, okay, that was wrong. Dad fondling with my giblets was wrong. I'm not going to do that. Society, I guess, will give me that free pass. Now I could be all rapey serial killer motherfucker because of that. But I'm not going to go in that direction. I'm breaking the cycle.
Yeah. It's true. You have the power to break it.
Yeah. Why does it? And that's so logical. Why do people allow themselves? Oh, well, I had a rough upbringing. Now I'm going to be a mass murderer. Why? I don't get it.
Because again, there's no blueprint. And so you go with what you know, and some people, that's all they know. It's like the rabbit hole that Trish and I are in right now. We have watched the first 3 seasons of Dexter in 6 nights. Dexter is a serial killer, and he was trained and taught by his dad.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Kev, that is such an amazing show.
Oh, it's incredible.
I mean, that is one of the best shows. Breaking Bad, Fargo, Game of Thrones, they get the limelight. But Dexter is right up there.
Yes, it is.
Just right up there in terms of a really, really good show.
Yep. This is the second time that we've watched all of it. We watched it when it was first out, and now we want to get into the new series, but we felt we should do a little brush up.
That's so smart, Cav.
Thank you, sir.
That's so smart. I know you saw this. My ex Kathy, Audrey and Jonas's mom, selling the Greatwood house.
I didn't know she was still in it.
Yeah. Stayed in it 19 and a half years ago. I bought that thing, for us and our little family, and she's putting it up for sale. They're her and her new husband are moving to Canyon Lake, going to the hill country.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So I just looked at it and I go, because I bought it for 240 G's.
Right.
On May 5th, 2005. And they got it up for sale for 580 grand. And you know what? They'll fucking get it.
Oh, they'll get it easily. That's actually cheaper than I thought they would list it.
I'm just like, that's 340 G's, right?
That's a pretty good return on investment over 19 years, isn't it?
19 years, yeah. Like 120, 130% return.
Yeah, you'll take that.
Absolutely. So, but she's going through stuff, I guess. And yesterday she sent out an ID picture of Jonas's black belt ID card when he got his black belt as a Taekwondo martial arts guy when he was 11 years old.
Man, it's something that I forgot he even did.
Yeah, I did too. I did too. And I'll let you post it right here. Here's his ID picture, 11 years old. He is a black belt in Taekwondo.
Kid's a silent assassin, man.
Exactly. And I told him, I said, hey, dude, J. Fred, you got to carry this thing around. That way, if somebody gets a little feisty on you, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to resort to violence. You just pull out the card and say, hey, tread lightly.
I don't think you want to do that.
And it's like, the guy, wait, you look like a little kid there.
Cute little Halloween costume, son.
Yeah.
Want to find out?
I asked Jonas, though, if he keeps up with it at all, if he knows like all of the stuff. And, he says it's like so ingrained, but he doesn't practice as much as he should.
Right.
But what I'm assuming is once you know that stuff, if the shit were ever to hit the fan, it would just light up. It would trigger.
Absolutely. Oh, it's all muscle memory.
But the thing is Jay Freddy is such an easy going, chill guy. He will never be in that situation.
No, he won't. He won't. He won't put himself in that situation. If that situation arises, it would be an accident.
Well, when him and his sister were in San Francisco this summer, that's when he was given that artificial intelligence speech. There was kind of a homeless guy that was pushing the line and getting a little aggressive with them.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, he was having issues. He needs the number of Kevin's therapist. But Jay Fred, I guess ready to go in case he stepped into the stance,
Sure.
and I guess the homeless guy saw the stance and was like, nah.
Yeah, that would be enough of a deterrent.
I thought these were too easy tourist marks or whatever, but he did something that I see like on UFC or something. Nah.
Yeah, and she's not small.
No.
She's 6 foot, right?
She's 5'10",
5'10", okay.
and she's a walking muscle.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she still has Texas Tech volleyball's all-time weight room records still.
I can believe that.
Just a beast.
And if she ever got beat, she'd go back and reclaim it. She's that competitive.
I would feel, I would feel bad for any guy that thought they could get one over on her.
Uh-huh.
They would very quickly be on the ground, bleeding and wishing they would have picked an easier mark.
Yeah.
Kev.
Yeah.
My gosh, it turned out pretty easy, and I love it. The election is over, kinda.
Yeah, I saw that on the plan. You said kinda. What's still to be determined?
Well, what the hell's going on in like Arizona and shit? Why does it take so long for them to count?
Trump was declared the winner of that state.
Yeah, I know, but it took like 5 days, and they're still grinding out, the House of Representatives.
Yeah, well, think about it, Tim. It's Arizona, okay? So you have the majesty of Sedona. You've got the Grand Canyon. You don't want to just completely lose that. So you look at that in the morning, then you go to count. Then you need a break. You go look at that again. Then you need, they're not going to rush things because they got such beautiful scenery.
Oh, the college basketball season has started. Wildcats are on, U of A. Let's go. Let's take a break in counting, and we'll go watch the Wildcats.
That's right. It's just the presidency. No big deal.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, like, the House is still, as of us speaking right now on Monday, the 11th. Happy Veterans Day, by the way, to all our vets. Thank you for everything that you have ever done and continue to do. We appreciate the shit out of you. But what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying.
The House of Representatives is still up.
It's still up in the air. I mean, it looks like it's going to be, maintained by the Republicans plus 2 seats. But I don't like this taking a long, because when it takes like this long to count, it gives people with bad motives, Democrats, a chance to give birth to ballots.
But like you said, it looks like they're already going to control. So what does it matter?
Again, after 2020, I have PTSD.
Okay.
When everything just stops and then suddenly every single vote that comes in is a Biden vote. Everyone. I don't know how that happened. 112,000 in a row votes in this precinct, and they were all Biden. It's crazy. We didn't have one Donald Trump. One. I just get a little nervous of that. A repeat of that shit.
I understand. I understand.
So somebody could, they're looking for just that moment when, a couple of the poll watchers are going to the bathroom. One's grabbing a smoke. Another one's on the phone real quick with his wife. And, all of a sudden this new box shows up. And, oh, my God, every single one is a Democrat. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, someone was out on Lake Havasu and they forgot to drop this off.
Yeah. And again, this is not me saying this. This is for the record. You can just go look at it. I mean, and just look at Kamala Harris. Every single state that she won does not have voter ID.
Was that deemed to be true?
Yes.
That was. Okay.
So there you go. Communism has to cheat to win, because nobody really wants communism. Nobody does except them, because they're the all powerful. They're the gods.
Well, if you're a communist and you're in power, then you're the one who benefits from it.
You're the god, and everybody else is a slave and eats loaves of bread.
But yeah, that's the only thing that's kind of not determined right now. But I mean, the Reds got a mandate.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the most hilarious thing is now everybody's talking. Well, we need unity. Everything's got to be united. It's like, really? After you tried to assassinate him twice, put a bunch of bullshit charges on him, put him in jail, got mug shots of him, wrecked him financially. Now you want peace. Now it looks like he will go in that direction, although there'll be probably some investigations of some people who have it coming.
Okay.
But hopefully, Kev, I guess I'm pessimistic. I just don't trust anyone, anything, anywhere, anyhow, anymore.
I believe that they've brought that upon themselves, and the media has definitely helped that antitrust.
They're destroyed. I mean, they're destroyed. Did you see that right there? I mean, they had numbers on election night in the hundreds of thousands.
Uh-huh.
Whereas if you went to X, to Twitter, there were like 5 or 6 or 7 live election results streams that were 30 million, 20 million, 10 million, you know?
Well, I watched a couple of different channels that night on Tuesday evening, election night. And I primarily watched ABC because I think that of the networks, they're kind of the most balanced for the ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. But even their guy that was tallying the votes for when it was in Georgia, he kept saying, and I quote, "Trump's numbers are stubbornly high and won't come down."
Yeah.
Stubbornly high? What the hell does that mean?
He's rooting for a team.
Absolutely.
And that's just so ridiculous. That's just so ridiculous. Yes, we've known for decades, at least 60 years, that you in the mainstream media, you swing left. But at least you used to be subtle about it. Until Trump comes along. Now it's just wide open. It's
Yes.
just that has destroyed them. They will never ever recover from that.
Well, I liked what was it? It was Jon Stewart who, at the end of his special, the end of his show that night, he said, "I got a message for pollsters. Fuck you."
Exactly.
You'll never pay attention to another poll in your life.
If you actually ever look at a poll and go, "Oh, it looks like it's going to be it," you're an idiot.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it's a good rule of thumb. You can go opposite. Add 12 points to the guys they hate, which is quote unquote constitutionalists, Republicans, people who like freedom, people who like America. Just add 12 to them. That's a rule of thumb.
That's the rule of thumb now. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
And you had astutely pointed out the morning before the election, you said, look at the betting line.
And they have it down all the time, Kev.
Yeah.
They have, I mean, they're so good. I mean, they are so, because there's huge money on the line, man.
Of course.
They don't jack around. Smart money does not play around.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, you just go with the betting lines. And speaking of which, Kev, I got a guy in the neighborhood. He bet $10,000 the day before on Harris to win.
Oh my God.
So he would get $16,000.
Okay.
And that was just to hedge his life, because he is in a business situation where if Harris becomes the president, his business is destroyed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's an oil and gas thing.
Yeah.
And his business is completely destroyed. So he bet 10,000 just as a hedge to give him, he would win 16,000 because it was a plus 160 situation.
Uh-huh.
And he would use that $16,000 to move to Costa Rica.
Ah, yeah. Well, he could do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost that much.
He's out 10 grand, but he has a future in America. So that was worth it to him to have that peace of mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Even if you just know in your heart of hearts, hey, Trump's going to win, you can't put money on it because you don't know what they have up their sleeve.
That was going to be my be honest for you this week.
Be honest. Be honest.
Had the results come back that Kamala Harris won, would you have thought it was legit?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Hey, Kev, the number one reason I don't think that 2020 is legit, besides all the funny business at 3 a.m. when everything stopped when he was leading, and then suddenly every vote coming in was Biden. was the fact that I don't buy into a situation where somebody who can't even fill a lunchroom at one of their election rallies, like a school lunchroom, is beating the guy that fills a stadium, and there's another stadium full of people outside wanting to get in.
Okay.
I don't buy that. That's impossible to me. That just doesn't happen.
So, based on what 2024 turned out,
Anybody that is still trying to push that Biden got 81 million votes, legitimately, the most votes in history, when we didn't even see him on the campaign trail. He was in his basement, and when he did do something, he couldn't even fill a fucking lunchroom, man. He couldn't fill the men's bathroom with supporters and give a speech. Yeah. If you don't know that yet, if you don't see that yet, then there's nothing I can do for you. Seriously, you are either so drank the Kool-Aid, brainwashed sheep, or you're part of it. You're part of that evil.
but
One of the two things.
What if you don't want to believe that because you still want to believe in democracy?
Come on, man. I mean,
I'm just asking questions.
There's enough evidence now that it is a pseudo democracy at best. That no matter what happens on election day, the billionaire power elite, they own everything anyway. I mean, Carlin said it. They own the courts. They own the politicians. They own everything via lobbying, via donations, via promises of riches afterwards. And you could just see it. Look at these politicians, how they go from having nothing to having $500 million overnight.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. So to at this point believe in a pure republican, pure democracy is ludicrous. You are an idiot to think that.
So will we ever get back there?
Not unless the only way we'll get back there, Kev, is if we take an honest look and we just say, hey, man, we've got to do this. And we have, not only, special investigations, tribunals and everything like that from the top down. I mean, you got the billionaires that are involved, the untouchables, they've got to be put on trial for crimes against humanity, treason, or whatever. And then all their little underlings in the mainstream media, in the big tech world, in academic world, in all these different areas that conspire against Americans, the Constitution, and the American way of life. All of these individuals and entities have to be put on trial. And you have to let the truth out and let light shine on the truth. We've got to know everything about the Kennedy assassination. Who cares who's still alive, who was involved with it? Prosecute the fuckers.
Yeah, they do that with Nazis.
All of them. I mean, everything that you got in terms of 9/11, there's 28 pages you aren't allowed to see from that report. That's ridiculous that you can't see 28 pages from the official report that you as an American citizen and your tax-paying dollars paid for.
Yeah, I'd like to read them.
I'd love to read them. I want you have to have complete sunshine, complete truth, and then those who have been involved in the bullshit that are still alive, put on trial and given sentences. And if those sentences are execution, then you execute them. You have to do that. Otherwise, it'll never be a pure democracy again. And we're fooling ourselves.
I asked the questions. That's the answer.
Now, here's the caveat to that, though, Kev.
Okay.
It is the American people are a powerful entity, us together as a people. A, because we're used to a certain amount of freedom. And B, we're armed. With the direct edict from our forefathers written down in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights saying, hey, right to bear arms, it ain't for hunting. It isn't even for self-defense if somebody comes through the door. It's if the government gets a little bit too King George III-like and needs to be, I guess, reminded of who's really in charge.
It starts out with when in the course of, go ahead, finish.
Well, the Declaration of Independence. when in the course of human events and the said government no longer serves that of its people, it is that people's responsibility. It is our responsibility to get rid of that government by whatever means need be and start a new government immediately.
He's never read that before.
That's what it is. The first paragraph of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
It's our forefathers telling us, hey man, if this shit happens to you too, you got to do it again.
Yeah, I always remember that. I always remember that, that you were so quick to say that. And
when in the course of human events and the said government no longer serves that of its people, it's that people's responsibility, not only for themselves, but future generations, to get rid of that government and begin a new one.
Weren't they poetic writers? I mean, not only do they have foresight, but man, they could write.
Oh, it's just brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, man, tyrants hate that document.
I'm sure.
Because it's all written right there. And getting, circling it back since you brought it up is, deep down, those powerful entities who really own everything and make all the calls, they understand that, okay, I think we're approaching the line where we're going too far. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Hopefully. Because at some point, if they're exposed too much or if they go too far and that first paragraph from the Declaration of Independence starts playing out again, they're the targets.
No, yeah, of course.
And there's once 50, 60, 70 million armed Americans. And again, Kev, a lot of them are vets who are experienced and know what they're doing, and they're angry. Once they push those people too far, the people, let's just call them capital T, the, and capital P people. Once you've pushed them too far, they're coming after you. So
like a second civil war,
second revolution, whatever you want to call it.
Second revolution. Okay. Yeah.
And I think we're close, or at least we were close.
I was going to ask.
We'll see how this plays out. I mean, I still, don't trust the situation. I still think that there are powerful forces who feel threatened by what happened last Tuesday, because they're, in their mind, it's like, okay, we fucked with him so much over the past 8-9 years that he's going to come in and he's going to go after us. And he would have the right to do that because they broke a lot of laws and they went too far.
I haven't seen any indication from what I've read or what I've seen online that that's even going to be one of his first 100-day tasks. I mean, you talk about the appointees that he's already made to his cabinet. The very first woman chief of staff in the history of the United States of America. I didn't think he liked women.
Yeah, anything they can do to alienate him from any powerful group of people.
So, and then he's talking about the securing the border in his first 100 days, and he's talking about the mass deportation, which I don't know how that's going to happen.
I honestly think, and it's not going to be like a mom and her 2 kids who walked over from the Mexican border from El Salvador.
It's supposed to be criminals.
They're going to get, look, they emptied Venezuelan prisons and a bunch of Central and Southern American prisons. And we have very violent people. We have apartment complexes being taken over, entire little towns being taken over. And all he's going to do is, hey man, we're not going to take your criminals and your violent people. They're going back. They're going home. So that's what the thing is. He's not going to go. He's not going to go after your cleaning lady who came over 2 years ago.
No, but I think it was amazing that he did name his deportation czar Dexter Morgan.
Good stuff, Cav.
Thank you. Yeah,
brings it all around there. I love that. Okay, here's my be honest for you, Cav.
Okay.
Do you ever wonder what kind of genius inventions or ideas society has been robbed of because of distractions like smartphones and video games?
No, I've never really thought of that. I think of the inventions that have been made and like, holy crap, man, where did that genius come from? But no, not now that you bring it up, I will start thinking about that. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to lay that.
That's okay.
I just had this thought, it was hitting me as like, if Xboxes were like available in the 50s and 60s, would like Martin Luther King's dream have been to excel in Madden or kick butt in Call of Duty instead of, his real dream?
Yeah, right. Yeah, true.
I've just been asking those questions,
I have a dream that I can master Grand Theft Auto.
Exactly. I could really get through this level in Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm following you.
It's just such a time suck.
Yep. Yeah. You would play a lot of video games if you didn't realize that it was a time suck. I've never been one to play them. I'm not that big in them.
I have a very obsessive personality where I not only, if I like something, I not only want to do it a lot, but I want to be the best at it.
Yeah, no, you pour yourself into things.
Yeah, and anytime that I've been involved in video games, it's time traveling, Kev. I'm like, how did it become Tuesday afternoon?
Well, I remember the Christmas story that you told when Kathy got you a PlayStation or a games console, and you were like 36 straight hours.
Yeah, it was around, I think it was around 2007 or something like that. For Christmas 2007, and back in the day, Kevin and I would wrap up doing the show right after Texas Children's Hospital Radiothon, and we would be done for the year and have 2 weeks off until the new year. And I got for Christmas, I forget what the game console is now, but she had Madden, and I think I played it 16 hours straight.
Dang.
And, Audrey's like 6 years old, and, Jonas is 4 years old. I got young kids. And I just blew, even though I didn't have to go to work or have to really be anywhere, I just blew 18 hours.
Yep.
That I could have been bonding with my kids during the holidays. And I told Kathy, I put it right in the back of the box, just exactly as neat as I got it, sealed everything up. I handed it to her and I said, take this fucking thing out of the house.
Yeah.
She took it back.
Yeah. Living life, not video game.
I can't do it. I'm that guy. Anything I do. Kev, in 2023, my obsession last year was golf.
Okay.
And, I got a membership at Cinco Ranch, and
Nice.
I was out there every single day, man. I was, I hitting buckets and buckets of balls, or I was playing, twice, sometimes 3 times a week.
Nice.
And I was hitting buckets after buckets after buckets every single day, working on my short game. I just became obsessed with it, and I was just like, okay, I can't, just a little bit, Tim, just a little bit is fine.
Yeah. Moderation. You've always said.
Yeah. Moderation is fine. That's just how I am,
Yeah.
That's why it took me a while to really, in terms of my trading. And let's do this right now, Kev. Let's talk about our rabbit holes.
Rabbit hole of the week.
We got your rabbit hole already, right, Dexter?
Yeah, Dexter. We have watched 3 seasons, and each season is 12 episodes. We've watched 3 seasons in 6 nights.
30, so that's 6 episodes a night.
Yeah, and they're 55 minutes long.
But that's awesome, Kev, that you can do that.
Yeah.
That's good bonding that you have with Trish.
Totally.
You guys can have your little think tank discussions.
Well, it's funny because we went to season 1 and season 2, and we're like, we don't remember a lot of this stuff. It's been that long.
Season 1, wasn't that his brother that was the killer?
Yeah, the ice truck killer.
The ice truck killer. I remember now. And who was the La Huerta? Who was the?
Yeah, Maria La Huerta.
I always liked Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay. See, it's been, God, I have not watched that. That came out, what, 06?
Yes. Yeah.
See, yeah, I have not watched. I can't even believe I remembered that right there.
Yeah. Well, strong characters.
Oh, they were great characters. And of course, Dexter's dad Remar.
James Remar.
And Kev, you remember we talked to him on the phone?
Totally remember. Yeah.
God, I just thought that was awesome. James Remar, in case you didn't know, he plays Dexter's father, just a great actor, but he's also been an awesome villain. He was in Warriors, one of the guys in the Warriors.
Mhm.
Warriors come out. But to me, the best was I think it was 48 Hours with Eddie. He was Gans.
He was Gans. I know.
Do you remember that?
Totally remember.
I mean, you can put a picture of Gans up right here. I mean, he just looks like, oh my God, that's a bad guy. Him and the Indian dude were the villains in 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte.
Great movie.
But I'd always had that in the back of my mind, James Remar, and I remember when he came along, he played some other key parts and some westerns and stuff like that. But when he did Dexter, as soon as I saw him on Dexter in 2006, I'm like,
Would you call him a character actor?
yes.
Yeah.
And a very solid character actor. Like
Yeah.
you're buying what he's selling.
Oh, totally. Totally.
He's not one of those actors that is just reading lines or just looking at the other character waiting for his turn to speak.
Do you think character actors are actually better actors than stars?
Yeah, because they have a lane. But the thing you got to watch out about character actors is a lot of times it becomes who they are themselves, Dumbo dropped into a scene.
Okay.
That's what you got to be careful about character actors.
Right. Yeah.
That's why you have to have mad respect for the actors like Robert Downey Jr.
Mhm.
Like when he did Oppenheimer.
Yep.
You don't even know it's Robert Downey Jr. until like 15 minutes later. It's like, wait a minute, that was Robert Downey Jr. That's how good he is.
Yeah, he is amazing.
He is. I remember even Kev Less Than Zero, and
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies.
very early on, I was like, this guy is real. I'm buying what he's selling. He's that good. Yeah, Kev. In terms of our generation, and I guess they call them Brat Pack. Is that what they call them?
That's what the Rob Lowe and Ali Sheedy and Judd Nelson.
Emilio Estevez.
Yes.
Demi Moore. But, some of the offshoot ones were Andrew McCarthy. And, and Robert Downey Jr. was kind of included as an offshoot one. And to me, Andrew McCarthy and James Spader.
Oh, Spader's amazing.
Those guys are like the most incredible actors of our generation. I'm trying to think of somebody, who else is good is Brad Pitt. Yeah. He's the pretty boy. So he doesn't get as much accolades as an actor. I know he's got an Academy Award, but I remember Brad Pitt when he did not only the movie 7 but 12 Monkeys.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, holy shit, he's not just a pretty boy. This guy is just grinding up dialogue.
Yeah. No, they said in his little part that he had in Thelma and Louise that they realized then that he was going to be a star.
Oh, you knew that right then. That he stole those scenes. And at that time, those are big time actresses there. Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon were big time actresses. And this new guy who'd, maybe done a sitcom here and there or whatever comes on and just steals scenes. You just knew that you were going to see him again.
And we have.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have. I guess it worked out for him. Brad Pitt is his name, for those of you who don't know who. But no, he's a really good actor too.
DiCaprio just turned 50.
Isn't that crazy?
I know, right?
Jack from Titanic is 50 years old.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And he celebrated with a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 21-year-old.
Exactly. So it equals 20 or equals 50.
There you go.
That's DiCaprio's way. If somebody says, hey, date your age, he's like, all right, I'm going to have 3 of them though.
That's funny.
I can't. I have no room to talk. I date young too. And I'd imagine DiCaprio says the same thing I do when asked, why do you date women so young? Because we can.
There you go. I was getting ready to say it. Because you can.
I mean, I ask, I make the inquiry and they're saying yes still. So why not?
There you go.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's a curse.
I hate myself for it. I do, and I know I'm probably going to pay in the end. Yeah, that's I absolutely love that. I love that, Kev. Okay, Kevin,
Yes.
let's do a top 3.
Just when you thought they couldn't count any higher, it's Tuttle and Kline's top 3.
I love this right here, Kev.
Okay. It's yours
Because
this week, right?
yeah, I actually started this with my family too, with Audrey Jonas and even her mom and their new stepdad Jason and Brandon, Audrey's future husband. Top 3 Tarantino movies in order.
Oh, okay.
Top 3 Tarantino movies in order. And I want you to think for a second. I'll stall for you if you need to think for a second, because this is one where it's like, oh shit, I forgot that one.
Yeah.
So be careful.
There was a time in yours and my relationship that I would not have been able to play this because I had not seen a Tarantino movie. Now I have seen several Tarantino movies, and dude, hands down, it's Inglourious Bastards for me.
Okay, all right, that's my number 3.
Okay,
That's a great. Are you kidding me? What a brilliant movie that is.
oh my god, it's amazing.
I mean, just the characters, the violence is just so perfect.
Yeah,
the in the basement, scene with the German soldiers. I mean, that was just one of the most unbelievable scenes right there. And you Eli Roth as the Bear Jew.
yeah.
I mean, awesome stuff, man. I love that movie.
And the one thing that Trish and I learned in that movie is you don't fight in the basement.
You don't never ever fight in the basement.
No, you don't fight in the basement.
Aldo Rain. I mean, Brad Pitt is Aldo Rain.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Arrivederci.
I speak the most Italian.
I speak the most Italian, so I'm going to be Italian. What do you know? Arrivederci.
Well, I don't speak any Italian. Well, that's why you're going to stand there and shut the fuck up.
I want my scalps.
Yeah, yep. If you haven't seen the movie, go see it. It's phenomenal.
Right.
Now, I know he didn't direct this. I think he wrote it. True Romance. Would you consider that a Tarantino?
Yes. I was going to make sure that you don't forget True Romance and Natural Born Killers were written by Quentin Tarantino.
Okay, cool. All right. Then True Romance is definitely in there.
And Kev, that he was actually Tarantino for a while, not taking anything away from, that movie right there, but he was thinking of redoing that the way he wanted it done.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that Christian Slater, with all his geeky movie, dialogue he had with Alabama.
Uh-huh.
He was playing the role of Tarantino. That's him.
Is it really?
Christian Slater is him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, is Quentin Tarantino, it's the only time he put himself in a movie is I am Clarence from True Romance.
How amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And and again, that movie, True Romance, one of the best dialogues ever. Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken on the origin of Sicilians.
Yeah, it is amazing.
It is unbelievable. Now, let me say before you run to it, because I know a lot of people will listen to this or watch this and then immediately Google, Christopher Walken, Dennis Hopper, True Romance. That is some intense dialogue about subject matter that if you are a hypersensitive pussy, you may not be able to handle it. That's all I'm
very
gonna say.
true. Very true. Very true.
That's all I'm going to say.
I guess my third one, and I know that it's going to not fly well with you because it's not Pulp Fiction. Reservoir Dogs.
Don't worry about me, man.
All right.
Don't worry. You do you. You don't do these lists to accommodate me. I'm not that much of an 800-pound gorilla.
I've been told though that if I see Once Upon a Time, that it's going to blow me away.
Oh, you've never seen Once Upon a Time?
No.
Okay, see it. That's my number 2.
Really? That good, huh?
It was really good.
Okay. I'm going to see it then.
Here's the thing: is the brilliant thing about Tarantino is, yeah, he starts off, Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, but he's actually getting better and better and better as a filmmaker.
Wow.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in America, Kev, and again, I know you're on this Dexter thing right now,
Okay.
but if you just need a breather,
Uh-huh.
I would insert Once Upon a Time in America soon.
I heard DiCaprio is just amazing in that movie.
Oh, DiCaprio is a genius actor. First off, just incredible in this movie, and second off, Django Unchained.
Which I can't watch anymore. It's too hardcore. Oh gosh, that movie bothers me.
Why?
Just because we were so ruthless to people.
Again, Kev, I didn't do any of that shit.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I don't take responsibility. I had nothing to do with it. And again, I would have been the voice, and I really would have. You know me, I'm a strong personality.
No.
I would have been the voice going, this is fucking bullshit that we're doing this. This needs to stop.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. These are human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They're humans. They're not fucking animals, and you don't even treat animals this way. I wouldn't even treat animals this way.
Yep.
So, I would be one of those guys, and they'd probably get all mad at me, but I'd be like, hey, man, get your fucking house straight.
Yeah, no, as I've gotten older, I've become much more of a puss. I mean, if you can believe that. I mean, I used to watch Faces of Death. I used to not have a problem watching I Spit on Your Grave, the documentary called Sick about a guy who has cystic fibrosis and jams a spike through his dick. I could watch that all day when I was younger. Now, I can't watch it. I can't watch Dancing with Wolves because of the dog killings, the wolf killing. Yeah, man.
Okay. Well, no real wolves were killed.
I know. And the horses too. I understand that. Yeah.
Those. Trust me, Kev. You're not watching any movie where an animal's harmed.
I think it's a tribute to the filmmaker, though, that they make it look so real. Like Django
brilliant.
Unchained. I can't watch it because of the brutality against humans. Same thing with Dancing with Wolves and the Animals. They do such a great job as filmmakers that they make it real. That I think I'm actually there.
I'm gonna just give you the entire list, because I'm such a huge fan and have been since day one. I'm the guy who actually watched Reservoir Dogs in the theater in 1992.
Okay.
You can call me Tuttle Tino.
Nice.
Number one, Pulp Fiction. I just remember watching that movie and I was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. I'm riveted. I am amazed at not only the unbridled yet well-placed violence and how real it looks, but also the incredible dialogue, where we finally have a director who is writing dialogue that is realistic instead of dialogue just to advance the plot.
And another thing that I appreciate about Tarantino movies is the soundtracks. His music is absolutely brilliant.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. That's number one. Number two, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Kev, you got to see that sometime soon. Number three, Inglourious Bastards. Now, before those last two came along in recent years, Reservoir Dogs. That was my next one.
Okay.
Brilliant stuff. Kill Bill 2, Kill Bill 1.
Oh, shit. I forgot he did Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's why, when I was on the text message group message, and I was asking, Audrey and Jonas's mom, Kathy, who kind of looks like Uma, didn't have either Kill Bill on there. And I'm like, your doppelganger's there and you don't have that on? I think she regrets it a little bit, but maybe not. I don't know.
I have regret.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to think about it, Then I have Django Unchained, then Hateful Eight.
Oh, damn.
Hateful Eight was a great movie.
Yeah.
Hateful Eight. And I don't know if you've seen this one, Kev. Death Proof.
I have not seen that.
Oh my God. I really enjoyed that movie. I really did. And I know you're saying to yourself, well, that's way down the list. How could you like that movie so much? It's Tarantino. he has not done a bad movie. Not
No.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, I've even revisited Jackie Brown after watching it for the first time, 25 years ago or whatever, almost 30 years ago now. That's a brilliant movie.
Is that a black exploitation movie? Is that what his,
Yeah,
his take
that's
on that?
Jackie Brown,
Yeah.
Pam Grier.
Right.
But it's a love story. That's what it is between her and Robert Forster. I mean, it's a great love story.
Many of his movies are love stories, just kind of a different take on a love story.
True Romance is one of the great love stories of all time.
Yeah.
I maintain that. Kill Bill is a great love story.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. I mean, he's got that written in everywhere.
Yeah.
The only one I can think of that doesn't have that, Django Unchained that's all a love story. Django's trying to get back with his wife.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's all that is right there, I can't, I'm trying to find the love angle on Hateful Eight, but I can't.
Inglourious Bastards. It was the love of the Nazi who wanted to get with the Jew. Remember that aspect of it?
Yeah, the Nazi hero.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
God, that's a good movie. See, now I'm gonna have to go and revisit these movies, Cav. It's been a while.
I'm gonna have to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
You have, Cav, and let me know as soon as you watched it. Let me know.
And I'm gonna try and give Pulp Fiction another chance now that I actually understand and get Tarantino.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
All right.
It is brilliant. Yeah. And then you give me your adjusted Tarantino list.
Okay.
Whenever you can.
I will.
But you also have to you have to go to Death Proof. You have to do it.
Was that like a cartoon? Was that based on a cartoon or something?
No, it's Kurt Russell is a maniacal stuntman murderer. He'd get people in this death-proof car. He'd get women in the death-proof car. They don't have seat belts or anything like that, and he would just and they would just get bounced around over in the shell on the opposite side, and he'd kill them.
Oh wow!
Until the revenge from three ladies, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay,
but it's a great movie, good dialogue, filmed in Austin.
Yeah, that's another theme throughout all of Tarantino's movies is revenge.
Oh yeah,
you got the romance, you got the revenge.
Romance, revenge, killer dialogue, and ultra violence. Tarantino. And he's only got one more movie that he's going to do, Kev. Do you know that, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, Tarantino said, I'm only doing 10s, and he's done 9.
Do we know what the last one's going to be?
Nobody knows anything yet.
Oh, okay.
Initially, people were a little freaked out because he was talking about redoing True Romance, and people thought that would be the 10th. But he finally had to make a statement and go, no, I'm not going to do True Romance. And even if I did, it wouldn't be the 10th. There's something else kind of brewing around in my head. I got to get it on paper.
Cool. Yeah, I don't think True Romance needs to be redone. It's a brilliant movie.
It was a great movie, but it's his baby.
Of course.
Because it's the only movie where the character's him.
Of course.
So he has a vision in his head of how it should have been. I'm just wondering if his vision had Christian Slater. Probably not. I mean, probably not.
Yeah, as Clarence? No,
As Clarence, even though I think Christian Slater played a great Clarence.
Oh, he did.
And that's another one of our generation's actors that I thought was really, really good. And I was surprised that he didn't keep it up to this day.
Well, he's going to play Dexter's dad in the new prequel.
That will be really good.
It will.
I hope that we see that again because Christian Slater is a really good actor.
Yes.
How did he get that role? That's a plum role. That's a sweet role on a prequel.
Yeah.
So that's an important role.
It's one of the most important roles. They weren't even going to do the series, and then he read the script and he's like, "Oh, I'm in." And they were like, "Okay, we can greenlight this." Yeah,
that's great. Now, who is it? Dexter's childhood?
Yes.
Who's playing young Dexter?
I don't know that. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. And who's playing the sister?
That I don't know either.
Okay.
It's a prime opportunity for two newcomers to get some serious spotlight. That's for sure.
When is that coming out?
They are shooting it now.
Okay.
So I would imagine sometime in 2025.
All right. I'm intrigued by that. Yeah, I'm intrigued by that because I may have to do a catch up on Dexter like you are.
You won't be disappointed.
No, I very much enjoyed that. And that's one I want to see, because that's 15, 17, 18 years ago
Yep.
that came out. And I just want to see if my perspective has changed. That's why I love revisiting some of these movies that I watched a long time ago.
And no, Dexter's aged very well.
Good. All right, cool. This has been a fun time, Kevin Kline.
It's gone by so fast.
I can't even believe it, man. You get me going on these tangents. It's your fault.
Well, it's totally my fault.
We have all this stuff that I wanted to talk to Kevin about, but he gets me on these tangents and we just have to save it for next week.
Yeah. Damn you, Kline.
But do us a favor if you would. Please like, follow, download, subscribe, give us a rating. Check out our merchandise on the Tuttle and Kline Facebook right here. We got some great merchandise. But, again, the podcast industry, for those of you unaware, it is run by downloads. So I know a lot of you, like most of you, probably 95 or more % of you, you just press play on your favorite podcast platform. If you could download it for us, we would really appreciate it. That's how they keep scoring in this business. And as you know, I'm tragically competitive and I'm obsessive. So I need downloads. If you would do that for me, that would be fantastic. Kevin Kline, you alluded to it. What is your other side project, your delicious Fuzzy Mike podcast have for us this week? You alluded to it before.
Yeah, we're going to talk about my transformation. We're talking about how much of a difference my therapist made in me.
Yeah, and make sure, hey, you got to follow the Fuzzy Mike too. Subscribe, download, all that stuff. Kevin Kline has this is a high-rated true crime and mental health podcast. And he really has some great experts and great discussions that I think can be helpful to anyone. I don't care how square you are in the mind and how you think good to go you are. There's always a little tweak or two that you can do to get yourself on the correct side of everything. And Kevin Kline's Fuzzy Mike podcast does that, at least for me, on a weekly basis.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
You got it, pal.
We did not talk about the NFL and the woeful Dallas Cowboys. Boo-hoo.
God, Kev, that's awful. And did you hear what Jerry Jones is now saying? It's because the sun got in their eyes because they have the if you haven't been to Cowboy Stadium, they have the roof is glass and the light comes in, and I guess CeeDee Lamb and a couple other receivers couldn't see the ball.
Yeah. So Jerry's like, well, we'll just tear the whole damn thing down and build a new stadium.
And then somebody goes, we have just blinders that we just press a button.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so not a good day for Texas NFL teams. Texans last night. What the hell happened to them in the second half?
Hey man, I don't know what happened. They were leading, and I was like, oh my God, they're gonna upset the Lions. And then I went to bed. I fell asleep. I woke up this morning, and you let Detroit win that?
Yeah.
I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. I need Detroit losing a little bit here.
That you do, yeah.
I thought, okay, my hometown Texans here, they got me a win for my Packers, and I'm like, oh, you fuckers blew it.
Yep. So,
yeah,
and then
will you tell me what happened? What exactly happened?
Dude, when have you ever seen a team that throws 5 interceptions win a football game? They did it last night. Goff threw 5 interceptions and they still won. Their defense clamped down. They had two big interceptions of Stroud, and they just they started running the football.
I don't know if I said this on our podcast, but I did tell Dallas this, my son Dallas, and we were talking about it yesterday. I said at the beginning of the season that this year's Super Bowl, this is August, I said Kansas City Chiefs versus Detroit Lions, Kansas City 27, Detroit 20.
We're going to keep that in mind because it looks
that
like
was
it
my
could
pick.
very well be.
That was my pick, and that looks like the collision now, doesn't it?
It does. Although I don't think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC right now.
They just don't. I don't, Kev. They are the scariest team that I've ever seen for one reason and one reason only. I don't think they know how to lose.
That's true.
I don't think they understand that it doesn't compute with them. That they'll just do whatever it takes, whenever it takes, and sometimes that's the very last minute to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've heard this before, Kev. when a team can continue to win ugly, those are the most dangerous teams.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They are the most dangerous teams because it's a mental thing too. They literally are never out of it. I don't care if you have a 17-point lead with 4 minutes to go. The Chiefs are not done yet.
Not even close.
They're not done yet. They're not done yet because they'll before you know it, they'll be within 3 with a minute and a half left. And you have the ball and they have 3 timeouts still.
Uh-huh. And Mahomes.
And
that's
Mahomes.
the reason.
And you're sweating.
Yeah.
Because there's just that is a dangerous team. I don't even remember in terms of clutch, and I don't even remember in terms of never out of it or don't know how to lose. I don't even think the Patriots, the 49ers of our day, the Steelers of our day when we were little kids, I don't think they had what the Kansas City Chiefs have now.
You're right. I don't know if anybody has.
If I'll just say this, if Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes stay together and Mahomes stays healthy, this is a team that when it's all said and done can win 7 or 8 Super Bowls.
Well, that's his goal. He wants to be better than Brady.
Yeah. And Kevin, in all honesty, I just alluded to it. I'm a Green Bay Packer fan. I was born and raised a Green Bay Packer fan. And something that I've held all of my life is, hey, we got 14 world championships. That's more than any other team. But the big one is we won 5 out of 7 in the 60s. Nobody's ever going to get 5 out of 7, ever. Now I'm like, because where we at with them since Mahomes started, he got that 1. Then they lost. Tell me in terms of the numbers, or you can show it right here. They can't. I don't think they can do 5 out of 7 based out of that first one.
Right.
But they can do 5 out of 7 now.
Yeah. Yep.
And I would not count them out.
I mean, they're doing it without their star players. The injuries have just decimated them.
That's what I'm saying. As long as you got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and Mahomes is healthy, that team is never out of it.
No.
And I got to give them credit. Their defense is the best it's been.
No, it's amazing. Chris Jones is a beast.
Their defense knows when to clamp down.
And then just by the time you see this on Wednesday's release, this will already have happened. But a big night in Florida history tonight. The Miami Dolphins, if the Miami Dolphins lose, then every single college and pro team in Florida will have lost in the same weekend.
Has that ever happened?
No.
That is crazy. Now, but you're not talking all the small schools too, though.
I'm talking every Division I college football team and every pro football team in Florida will have lost on the same weekend.
Holy shit.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Dolphins got a little state pride going. Where do you find these little nuggets, man? That's crazy.
That was on one of the post games yesterday. Actually, the Sunday night game. Yeah,
that's awesome. All right, we'll be looking for that tonight. Okay, Kevin Kline, that's enough. I don't want you to get burnt out on me. I don't want you looking at your watch and going, this Tuttle thing is great in small doses. Later, man.
That's it for this episode of the Tuttle and Kline Show. See you this Wednesday for an all-new episode. And you can get more Kline on his podcast, The Fuzzy Mike, with new episodes on Tuesday. Stay fuzzy, friends. And thanks for listening to the Tuttle and Kline Show. Yo. All right, take the yo out.